We try to focus on things that we believe matter the most and the things that we believe don't work often through the learning process, and one of those is the movement through the ankle. So one of the big emphasis of our progression is the movement through the ankle. So that the flexion extension is defined by the ankle movement. The snowplow turn is followed by the plow, and the turn has been designed in such a way that ideally this would be too steep terrain for using this type of skiing, but it is applicable because often we find ourselves in a situation where we don't have a terrain that we would like to have, but most importantly is that the size of the plow is not defined. This is the part of the open structure, and the most important thing is this movement through the ankle with a weight shift on the outside ski. Next stage will be the basic turn. We like to see it to be again in a natural way, where we would like to develop a skier without introducing even the parallel position of the skis. By using the right terrain, usually that would be the flatter terrain where the demonstration is taking place now. By using the right terrain, we'd like to get the matching of the skis happen without introduction, so completely in a natural way. Only if necessary we would be defining the moment of the matching of the ski when the balance is safely established on the outer ski. Next stage would be advanced parallel, which differs from basic parallel turn, mainly in the second part where the skier will be finding the edges and using the shape of the ski sooner and sooner, and also the pole clamp is being introduced. So two demonstrators, and again, everything that we introduce early in the progression, we like it to be functional later on. Therefore, balance along the ski is one of the things that we focus a lot on, and secondly, deflection through the ankle. After this stage, we are getting into an advanced ski school. Short turns are being demonstrated right at the top, and those short turns, again, most important things that we will focus on is again movement through the ankle during the flexion extension, and difference between those turns and the ones that will follow is the amount of edging and carving that happens in the second part of the turn in particular. Right at the top, the demonstration will start with racing technique. So the goal of on-piste skiing, first of all, slalom, racing turn, and the difference between short turns and that one is that the skier is trying to use side cut of the ski and the flex of the ski right from early on in the turn. And then the same on the wider radius, on the wider corridor, would be a dynamic parallel turn, which again differs from the advanced parallel turn with the amount of edging and carving that happens from the early phases of the turn.
Looks like a chick.
As I said, a bit more about the understanding of the...
So we would say the movement, as long as the ankle has got space for flexion and increasing the pressure, and hip stays central and high up above the ski, good. If you need to encourage the further flexion extension movement, but that means the ankle hasn't got anywhere to go, and you just start moving knee and hip, you end up being behind, and this is one of these things that we see very often. So we try to focus on ankle, and how much ankle will give you, that much movement is appropriate. And we do acknowledge that when you get on a really high level, at the time of the transition between two turns, the weight is actually clearly on the heel. But because of the human nature and the way that people tend to move it too far back too soon anyway, we like not to mention, because when we develop the skier and you start talking about weight being back at the end of the turn, it happens, it's back too soon anyway. That will be a natural answer. So we try not to put focus somewhere that may become a problem at some point. So this we look at as a natural consequence of a decent initiation of the turn. So if the entry into the turn is clean and nice, we believe everything else is likely to be successful and functional. Already at the plow turn, we will say, as you start steering your skis one way, try to feel which way the weight will want to go. Often, more often than not, I would say, as I said before, 70% plus of the people will feel, as they try to turn to the left, that weight wants to go to the right, and then most of them, if the terrain is nice and gentle and flat and it's not a problematic situation as far as the fear is concerned, they will be able to do it. And that's ideal. that's our best case scenario. So what we've done is we haven't drilled into them. When you are turning left, weight has to go to the right, so we haven't overloaded their brains with information which is instructive. We've given them information which is understanding the feeling for the skis, for the snow, for the pressure under the skis. Obviously, not everybody is able to do that. Those who are not able to do that, then we will go strip it back and go back. Right, so PP turns, how do we do progression? Again, we like to stop as little as possible, because we know if you choose the right terrain, so using the right terrain is the key. If you choose the right terrain and increase the speed a little bit, matching of the skis is going to start to happen naturally. So again, one thing that I didn't mention before is the angulation, which will help us to move the weight over the outer ski, but again, we won't talk about it unless necessary. So main issue will be feeling of the weight shift, and if that feeling happens, that's great. If it doesn't happen, then we go back and touch it.
Našla ga mati u njivi ko da spava na meku zemlji, klonula tvrda glava, konje je nebom potjero, umro je gdje se rodio. Još gledam orak stari, s jesenih ko da prije.